Right, Jay? Do you know where your IT pros are? We don't. It's Patch and Switch. And now, two guys who don't really exist, at least according to major national media. Or at least that's not really their names. Here they are, Patch and Switch. So, question.
Yes.
So since we're not really who we say we are, do we have to be on the show right now?
No.
No?
Ah, what the heck?
We lost the other guy.
Hello?
There he is. Now he's here.
So my session had frozen in our back channel call. And so I had to hit the refresh button, and I guess that gave me a new identifier. So I wasn't in the switch over as smooth as we're expecting to be.
Yeah, nothing like high quality production for the Patch and Switch program.
But it's Friday morning. This is awesome.
It's the Friday.
Awesome. I've got a flat white. I'm here upside down for all of our viewers to see.
I noticed that the camera does the good flip thing just fine, right?
Oh yeah, you can mirror it quite easily.
Yeah,
to make it.
Is the blood rushing to your head?
It's more so the liquid in the cup actually staying in it as opposed to coming out.
It's some special Australia thing we've got going on. Have you been carried away by insects yet?
No, but I did see my first spider and spider web in the garden just outside. It's a special type of spider that's called the something or other cross spider.
Okay.
The redback legs. No, it's not the redback. It takes the 8 legs and then combines them into 4 legs, and then it spreads itself in the center of the web as like a cross.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so it looks like it's a cross. But I was informed it was a baby spider. And the baby spider was still about, that big. It was big. But I'm waiting. I asked my host, I'm like, hey, Sonia, I'm hoping that you've cleared the room of all spiders and insects and stuff like that.
Yes.
And she joked with me, no, I've asked Tony to go ahead and make sure we find a nice big ass huntsman spider and put it in the corner of your room just for you. I'm like, thank you.
Completely harmless other than you will light the house on fire.
Oh, yes. It'll be an aerosol can with a lighter.
Flamethrower.
Yes. Very much.
Go down. You go down. Do they have they've got tool rental there, right? You can go down there and get a rental flamethrower if you needed it, right?
I'm hoping so. But yeah, so in case you haven't picked up on it, I made a special request to the production team. Could we do an episode that we've always been talking about doing where we have someone in Australia and have an Australian friendly time zone for some of our friends down this way? And everyone said yes, or they didn't really have an opinion, and I just went ahead with it anyway.
Or we were just told.
Yeah.
We're doing a show. We're doing a show at this time. Show up. Hello to Eddie. Good friend DJ Eddie. Good to see you in Chicago a couple of weeks ago. Mr. Coozer is here. Says I made it in crazy 24 hours a day. Says hello. Quiet chat because, our European friends, it's
middle of the night.
Oh yeah,
it's the middle of the night.
European audience.
It's midnight.
It's midnight. Yeah, they're asleep because they still have to work tomorrow, right? They have to work tomorrow. So you're in Australia. How long have you been? Have you adapted to the time zones?
Yes, I'm here long enough just to adapt to the time zones, and then magically I will be coming back.
Will you actually have a suitcase when you come back?
So, if you followed me on some socials, you may have noticed that my suitcase left Sydney to come up to where I am right now in Brisbane to visit some colleagues and some friends. And my suitcase went the wrong direction. For some reason, it decided it didn't want to come to the eastern coast of Australia up north, and instead I went to the west coast of Australia. So it's in Adelaide, and so but the very first time ever, I put an air tag in my suitcase, and just for fun, before this trip, and it for the very first time, it's actually come in handy because when I landed and there was nothing on the conveyor belt for the suitcases, I pulled up my iPhone and saw, oh, it's not here. At first, it just said it was still in Sydney. I'm like, oh, okay, it hasn't updated yet. And then Sonia said, you should go over and file a claim just to get things started. I'll stay here. So I walk over, and as I walk in over, the screen refreshes, and it literally says, your suitcase is 1,200 miles away from you right now. All the way over in Adelaide.
Adelaide.
So
Adelaide. Well, hopefully it's on its way back. And
they handed me a beautiful survival kit, which was basically a set of pajamas and toiletries that I could have. So,
and a can of hairspray and a match.
They expect you to wrestle the spiders and the various different dangerous animals just with your super small short-handled toothbrush. I guess you can sharpen it into
no, dude, you have superpowers
the
minute you put on the Qantas PJs.
Oh, true.
Because you can time travel with the Qantas PJs.
Screw that. Make a shiv.
Let's make a shiv with the toothbrush. That's probably going to be safer.
Pete Keller's joined us in chat. Hey, Pete, good to see you. He says, biggest country town in the world, and he says it was probably a white cross spider. The aforementioned spider that you mentioned earlier.
I think she might have called like Andrew's Cross or something, so could be.
I don't know.
I have to get the name. She's on a call. She's doing work right now because it's actually work day.
It is actually a work day.
I'm doing the silliness of this, and she's doing the work
well,
day.
Normally we start the silliness on a work day, but at any rate.
True. Very true.
DJ Eddie asked, did they give you Tim Tams as a sorry for losing your bags? Here are some Tim Tams.
That's the Canadian equivalent of the sorries, but
it'd be like maple syrup, right? Whenever Air Canada loses your bag, you get maple syrup, right?
Yeah. The family has asked me to go on a shopping spree of Tim Tams of a variety of types, and so Sonia and family have agreed to take me to the Tim Tam Emporium so I can view all of the Tim Tams and all of their grand splendor.
All you need is the double chocolate and the ones with caramel. That's all you need.
Yeah, but I'm a caramel guy myself. I love those ones, but apparently there are seasonal ones because it is Christmas time.
Oh, it is the holiday season.
There will be some red velvet, I'm sure. There will be some peppermint options in there as well. We'll have to see.
Pete says, get the triple coat.
Triple coat. Today for breakfast, I had a beautiful couple of slices of Christmas ham. It's ginormous ham on a bone inside the fridge. And it says Christmas ham on it, that they just like to have in the fridge and slice up and have it for sandwiches and stuff. So that was my protein breakfast that I had, which was awesome.
Very nice.
Obviously she's not here watching because she's working, but I'll do a tip of the hat to my friend Sonia, who has graciously put me up in the caravan in her driveway.
Very nice.
For being able to stay over the weekend.
Very nice. Very nice. Hey, it is the holiday season. And your friends Patch and Switch made a short walk all the way up to the western coast of Canada to do our annual Christmas sysadmin Christmas episode with our friend Rich Campbell over at Run As Radio, which is available for your listening pleasure. Right now, if you head on over to runasradio.com and click the button on Rick's lovely hat with his hand in his glasses photo that's been digitized. I'm a little bit offended because the last 3 years it's been your photo and not mine. I don't know why.
I think it's just the hat. The hat is what draws people in. I've gotten so many comments on that show for the stuff that we were talking about. Yeah. For people wanting to pick it up. So yeah, it's always so much fun doing that show.
Yeah, it's a great episode. So if you are looking for those last minute gifts for those hard to buy techie type people, head on over to that show, our annual visit with our friend Rich Campbell at Run As Radio to check that out. It appears we've got our good friend Ledwig says aloha, which means hello and goodbye. But apparently he sent me a message. He is in misery.
He's on a boat.
on another boat, another cruise ship, and he's spending his evenings in an Irish pub listening to Irish music and drinking a whiskey for 4 or 5 hours a night.
Oh,
I
that sounds
don't
like
know how
hell.
he's surviving. I really don't know how he's surviving this.
No, that's a hard retirement life, I tell you.
He is
Hard
checking in
retirement
from
life.
the Sun Princess. So he's actually bought internet to join us on the program because I know that he's normally not a big internet fan. Yeah. So
Are you allowed to bring your own Starlink devices on cruise
no,
ships?
and actually, it's interesting. One of the cruise lines just this week, or maybe it was last week, announced that you are no longer able to bring a travel router.
What?
Yeah.
What are they going to do? They're going to confiscate it or something?
Well, the same way they confiscate power supplies and everything else. Yeah, when you go through security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go through security to go on a boat?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I
Well, I
just
mean, they
walk
scan
on.
your luggage and everything, and they make sure there's
Yeah.
no contraband, and yeah, they can definitely take it away.
That's
So,
interesting. Did
Yeah.
not know that.
Yeah, it was,
Cruise
that
life.
was cruise life. They got to make their dollars. They got to make their
Mm.
dollars. They're not making it on fares right now because cruise fares are pretty low right now. So
When you and I used to have offices at the Microsoft campus, did you ever have the security audit folks come by with wireless detectors to check out the ports for you?
yes, because I was right next to your office, and apparently you had something running, and they came to my office thinking it was me.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a fun day.
Oh, is that what you call it? Is that what you call it?
Dangers of sharing an office space close to Rick.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, we have gone through those. What if do you come back to work at all when you come back? Or are you coming back and dipping off onto the holiday season?
I've got work to do.
Okay.
I've got a lot of
I
work
just-
to do.
I
I am literally working while I'm here. To see.
Well, I understand that, but like when you arrive back in the States, we're rapidly approaching the time that a lot of people start bailing out. In fact,
Yeah.
half my team has already started disconnecting, and it's well deserved, as they the two have disconnected have done back-to-back events, whether it be the AI tour in Toronto or Sydney, and of course Microsoft Ignite, and some of those folks worked from 4 a.m. until like 8 p.m. every day. So
yeah,
they're definitely dipping out. Eddie says his last day is tomorrow. I've got an exec review on Wednesday, so I'm sticking around for that one.
I've been invited to that one, so I'm definitely participating.
Hang out and do that. Yeah.
See how that check-in goes. And I got a couple more like that. So there's some wrapping up of stuff. And then even we were talking about this before the call. Our friends that have been doing and putting on the flagship event known as Microsoft Ignite in Chicago, they do their drop of the analysis of feedback and evals and stuff like that across the event. And a lot of that is coming up next week. Just as here, we're going to take a look at this now and take a look at it as well. So I'm looking forward to some of those taking place. So technically I fly back. I'm arriving the same day that I leave, which is weird because of time
That's the
zones.
Magic Qantas pajamas.
The Magic Qantas pajamas keep you connected. I'm coming back on Tuesday. I'm back on Tuesday and then working officially probably on the Wednesday. We'll see how I manage to bounce off of that one.
Ledwig says, "Gotta go dinner time, and lobster is on the menu in the main dining room."
It's a hard life.
This is misery. I don't know how
Hard
he's surviving.
life.
I really don't. Mr. Kuzer says, "I am somehow burning vacation starting today until January 2nd. Next year, I need to take more vacation." Yes. Take more vacation. 100%. Agreed. I've started the holiday season. Tonight will be my second consecutive night of holiday gathering.
Oh, nice.
Last night went to a celebration with the Mrs. Networking group that she does for small businesses. That was a good time.
So I pinged you in the middle of that to do some work stuff, and you still responded?
Yes. And I still responded. Sorry. Yes. No,
I'm sorry.
Good. It's all good.
No wonder my manager scores are in the toilet these days.
Tech Entangler says, "Are you in Brisbane or Sydney? Because I understand that you're in Oz."
Correct. I was in Sydney,
now
I'm in Brisbane for the weekend.
There you go.
And I'm probably going to be going to the Microsoft office a little bit later today.
Oh, hey, there you go.
And
There you go. Ooh, an
they let
actual
me in.
office.
They let me in to the Sydney office and activated my badge, which was nice yesterday.
Very good. Very good. So tonight I have another holiday celebration. We're going to go to the Enchant, which is out at the ballpark here in Las Vegas. They do the whole Christmas lights kind of Christmas market thing. It's very chilly here. Very chilly.
It's 29 degrees centigrade here. I'm dying.
It's getting near freezing tonight, this evening. Yeah, so we'll be all warmed up heading on out to that and then doing a little bit of dinner before that. So I've got a hard stop at the top of the hour, as they say in the biz, because
absolutely
to rapidly change clothing and get on down the road. But I love this time of year. This is my favorite time of year. I've got the Christmas lights on. We've got full Christmas has impacted the house where you know it's everything. The halls have been decked, as they say, and you could definitely tell it's slower because in our first segment of the show, which is from the trenches, the things that we're doing in our day jobs, there's not a whole heck of a lot going on. We did an exec review this week. So tick that box, a pretty good review with our friends on the AI security side, which I thought
that was cool. That was very cool.
It was a good time. I think it was a good time at any rate.
No, I gave Sarah good kudos when we met face to face after, saying good job on pulling that together. So it was very, very nice. And then other things that you did this week at all?
Refreshing content for the AI tour, of which you are in Sydney for.
Yeah.
But we just came off of Ignite, so it is that time where we do a refresh on content. So spent a couple of hours with a couple of folks on my team going through and look, what are we going to refresh? Hey, let's take this opportunity to really make this session a lot better. And so we've done that. Yeah. So.
And I've been, as you mentioned, I was in Sydney. I'm here in Australia to deliver the AI tour content. And this was a session that actually Wired Connect put together along with another one of our friends, Josh. I don't think you've had a chance to work with yet from the cloud native side. And I was talking about all of the goodness of Copilot in Azure, Microsoft Copilot in Azure, using all the goodness of infrastructure management tools through the Copilot lens inside of the portal. It was really cool. And I also got to debut in the Australian time zone. I got to debut the AI shell, which we talked about at Microsoft Ignite in Chicago from the PowerShell team, with cool. An integration of a interactive LLM interface in front of your PowerShell environment or your other scripting environments, and or tying into also the Azure Copilot as well. So I've used the right terms. I'm sorry. Copilot in Azure as well. So the crowd was very appreciative of that and had some good demos. Had to recreate some demos to make them so that they were a bit more lively as opposed to all recorded demos. So it was fun because some of the best things that it works because it is knowledgeable of interpreting the context of what you're talking about. Even if you make a typo inside of what you're typing, it can still correctly identify what you're trying to say and fix it for you, which is fun. So it fixed a couple of my typos as I was trying to do it live. We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. Yeah. I sat down with another one of our friends, Mr. Oren Thomas, and did a review, but it turns out I was actually not speaking with actual Oren. I was working with AI Oren. So he's like, hey, here's a recording of the proposed changes for the data session. He delivers it, and I'm like, there's some nuances here that I'm not sure I'm comfortable with. And he's like, do you have any feedback? And I'm like, if that was AI Oren, I don't know it's a good idea teaching AI Oren how to get around some data security things. I'm just
I think there's a danger level that we need to have a kill switch in place. If we start to
I assume that you have that. At least I hope you have that.
You got to say a word 3 times in a certain speed in order for it to self-destruct or something like that.
It's almost to deactivate.
Yeah, it's almost like there was a thing going around the socials about 3 weeks ago about if you ask the public version of ChatGPT a particular name, proper name, first and last name of this individual, and I forget what the name of that person is, it completely shuts it down because apparently there was some kind of a litigation that took place, and the settlement was that if you ask that name,
Oh,
the system is not allowed to talk about anything. It just shuts down the chat. It's done. So I'm like, oh, that's an interesting angle I wasn't aware of that existed, but it's something you can
goodbye.
programmatically put in.
Tech
Yes,
and
the
Tigler
AI arm
says.
was kind of cool.
Tech and Tigler says, "Are the bad guys teaching AI to get around the security controls?" No, we're teaching the AI. The AI model is teaching us security, but to teach us that, it needs to know it. And I don't know that AI or yeah. There's just dangers. There's just dangers. Yeah. Dangers all along.
Yeah,
Dangers
I also
all along.
did a. So other folks found out that I was down here in Australia, down under, and someone said, "Hey, would you be up for coming to speak with the team, the group?" And I'm like, "Sure. What do you want to talk about?" I was like, "No, we just love to talk to you and about your career at Microsoft, stuff you've done, how we can do different things." And so I basically presented to about 40 or so, 50 or so
Wow.
internal TSPs and CSAs. So those are the people that are the technical
Yeah.
side of the sales organization that wanted to talk about stuff. And I'm like, you really want to hear what I have to say? Sure. Okay. So it was great. It was a great conversation. We did that one there at the Sydney office, and a lot of people dialed in remote.
Were you at the new
And
Sydney office, the one that's in the
yeah,
CBD? Oh,
yeah. This is the one Denison, I think they call it.
yeah,
The opened in 2019.
yep.
Beautiful view, great environment. But again, like you have to have the badge to get in, and so if you don't have the badge to get in, you can only get into the main level, and then they authorize you to go to the other levels. So they said
There
you
you
look a
go.
little bit dodgy, but I'll give you access for 24 hours, sir.
So Tech and Tingler has been renamed in chat. Apparently, they've
Oh yeah,
decided. Yeah, they've decided his name will be Bruce.
love it.
I love it how chat just starts renaming people. I mean, it's
Oh, yeah.
it's amazing. It's amazing.
It's a community show.
Yes.
Community show.
So now he's called Bruce.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's definitely slowing down, and I have a feeling next week will be even slower. Though I'll still be around. I'll be around at least the first half of the week. After Wednesday, I'm gonna take off a little bit, hang out here with the fam, do some more holiday Vegas things. We're gonna go down and check out the conservatory. We're going to the conservatory at the Bellagio to check out the flowers and things, but it's the conservatory.
Sounds extremely exciting.
Actually,
I'm
it's
excited.
actually very cool. It's one of my favorite things to do. Yeah.
I'm excited because one of my daughters is coming back to university, and she arrives tomorrow in your time zone. She'd already be here in my time zone.
Ah.
She arrives Friday, so she comes back, and then I lose my office. And so my office is now no longer mine while she's here.
Oh.
So I will be working, but I'll be working from the Microsoft campus probably for the last week before I take time
the
off.
kitchen table.
Yeah, the kitchen table, or I actually will go in the office to be able to go off and talk with some folks.
Yeah. Very
That
good.
be the plan.
Very good. Very good.
You mean the carbon monoxide office?
No, that's a storeroom now. The carbon monoxide office has now been relegated to being pure storage and partial server room too.
Very nice. Second segment of the show is Beer Money,
Beer
the
money.
support that we do from our friends, our families, friends, sisters, uncles, cousins, nephews. Giant guinea pigs in chat says, is Rick sitting at Scuffiness's desk? So
Yes.
there's actually it's been posted in our internal Teams chat. Sonia's like, it's weird seeing Rick in my office.
It is very strange. For so many years, seeing Sonia Cuff from this direction, like you're seeing me on the
I can
screen now,
imagine
and
it's
out
weird
and
seeing
the
it
other
from the
way.
other side.
Yeah.
Have you done any Beer Money support while you've been for the spiders? I mean, running a new network cable, new network structure for the spiders.
So again, she's graciously let me stay inside of the guest room, and her and her husband are both working in the tech field, so there's absolutely no tech support required in here. I will mention that Tony was a bit hesitant to give me the Wi-Fi password.
I would be too.
So
There's a reason I put you on my guest network when you were here.
so there's no tech support required there. But I did tech support when I was at the event, as always. Get this, like two things for me at the event. The first one was you have the ability to do a tech check, and most people that are more seasoned speakers fly in or completely fly past doing a tech check, or if they fly in, they just say, "Yeah, okay, this looks good," and then leave again. I decided I want to go off and check everything because the connectors they were using looked a little bit fishy to me, that they were older school connectors. And so, okay, I'll bring it up and take a look at it. The slides are working fine. Then I flipped to my demos. The demos look fine. Everything else is good. But then I stopped for a second and I looked not just at the monitor that I'm looking at. I looked back at the screen and I realized that for some reason, whenever you're in a white background, it becomes that there are dots every, like, literally fill the entire screen. So whenever there's white, for some reason the projector was rendering it as white, but then it would have like graph paper dots all over the thing. So you can't even read what's going on. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And I'm showing stuff in the Azure portal, which by default is white. So basically my demos would not work. Back and forth on stuff, tried different machines, same problem with the Lenovo versus the Surface Pro. Couldn't figure out what was going on, and then we eliminated it down to it actually was the actual dongles. And so apparently older USB-C to HDMI adapters that are not Thunderbolt or not higher level were causing this driver issue. And then that caused a cascading effect across every single breakout room that they verified, and this was the case. Most people present in slides or they present using dark mode. I'm a light mode person, as you should be, in my opinion, because it's more visible on the screen inside of a breakout room than a dark mode is. And they had to then go off and rapidly source all new dongles for every place to make sure that they had the proper dongles. And as soon as a more modern dongle arrived, boom, plugged in and just worked.
Look at you saving the event.
Wouldn't have happened unless I was there.
Some beer money.
So that was weird.
Saving the event.
Yeah. The second one was a good old fashioned printer issue. Having to get a printer wirelessly to work. It was a wireless connection, and they were not reliably showing up, and so
you just jiggle the wireless. Just
pick up the printer and just jiggle the printer. Yeah, just having to get a proper setup. Wrong IP addresses, that sort of stuff. So, how'd that resolve?
Wired Canuck asks, you mean you did not bring your own dongle?
Correct. Well, no, I did, and that's how we can confirm.
Oh, that's how you confirmed it was the dongle, is because you had yours in. Gotcha.
And luckily, again, I had two dongles because I'm Rick. I have to have redundancy because I break
because you break things.
And again, my older dongle, which used to be my always go-to, which is more like a mini hub than an HDMI version only, because it has USB and HDMI and Ethernet. That one there, if you use the Ethernet, you use the HDMI on that one there, it was actually doing the same thing. But the other one, I literally had bought not even 3-4 weeks ago, and I brought that one with me too, and that one there worked fine. So there really is something going on.
Is it like, do we need to get because I have the same laptop as you do now, so do I need to bring a Thunderbolt version of that little mini dock instead of my normal USB-C? Okay, fair enough.
It appears to be the way to go, is going with the Thunderbolt dock for the drivers that currently are inside of these systems. I think it's actually probably a Windows 11 thing, because it was common across Lenovo devices as well as ThinkPads, Lenovo's, and Surface devices.
P. Calvert says, unfortunately, work meetings are calling, as what happens when you're in daytime down in Australia. We'll catch up with the rest of the show later. Miss the old face-to-face catch-ups. Take care. Have a good holiday season. Happy holidays to you, Pete. Safe travels back, Rick, as Pete says. But yes, definitely. Giant Guinea Pig says they don't call him double dongle Rick for nothing.
Oh my God.
Nice. Callahan on Twitch. I'm with Rick and Wired Canuck. I always test things. And then, of course, you started this conversation about light mode, dark mode. I'm not getting into that conversation, but agree with you, for presentations, you should be in light mode. That does not mean that when I'm working, I have to be in light mode
No,
because
yeah, but
I'm not going to do that.
my work environment is absolutely dark mode for sure. But for presentation wise, with projectors and everything else in a dark room, for visibility of your audience, it's always best to be in a light mode, and there's not even an argument. It's
Do
science.
not
It's
disagree.
science.
Do not Where can
But
a quick
you know
dark
what else?
mode? You're wrong.
And you know what else I realized? And look, because I got the opportunity to see a bunch of different sessions from different people delivering content and stuff like that. I think that you and I need to do some videos about making demo videos, to raise the bar for some standards that we have across the board as a refresher for people.
So you're
Because
talking
I
about
saw a
like
lot.
recording, like when you have to record something to use
So,
as a
so
backup, or
I mean, with our demos, we tend to have to do a lot of recorded stuff because of time constraints and time lapses of how long it takes infrastructure to set up in the back end and blah blah blah. So instead of fake rendering them through, this is what it should look like, doing the real demo, but then cutting out the pauses and cutting out the things. There's slight variations that were annoying to me as an attendee and as a delivery person as well, for being able to reproduce them. Like simple things like resolution that you're displaying at, the font size you're using, the icons on your desktop, the stuff that's down below, all the distraction stuff. You and I talk about this. We should do like a little specific making a reproducible demo or delivery
yeah, and you
during a
recommend
session.
we actually record at a lower resolution so that it looks better on the higher resolution screen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
The other thing I found was cutting out all the talking points. Like if I was going to talk about something, I would rather have the control to press the space bar to pause the demo so I can walk away and talk and do some stuff
yeah.
and then press the space bar to continue, as opposed to building in the talk track pause inside the video itself. And then you have to kind of make
So
sure
I
you get your talk
actually,
track in there.
so for my demos that I recorded for AI Tour, I have both, right? So
Yep.
I have the talkie version and the non-talkie version, and the non-talkie version should have edits,
Yeah.
which but not everybody. See, the other thing is there was a big debate, particularly at the event in Chicago, over do we embed the video into PowerPoint or do we play it off of a different machine? So the official guidance was to embed it.
And that's probably developed by people that don't do demos. They were looking at it from the production perspective at keeping it easy, not
Yes.
from the attendee experience of or the presenter experience of delivering it. Again, for me, I want the ability to be in control of my time. If I need to, I can skip ahead or I can do other things or I can pause and stop and expand on stuff if I need to. That's going to potentially have a nuance change based on the audience and the delivery of that particular demo. I have control of it if, like you cut all that stuff out, but you know the demo to where you can pause and play. You can't
Yep.
do that with a freaking PowerPoint embedded player. You
No, you
have to go
can't.
outside.
Yeah, you should be doing something like VLC or some other similar thing on another. Pierre says use VLC in full screen on a separate virtual desktop. That's interesting. I hadn't done that. I'd usually just run it, right, and just have it on my machine. And I generally would use a separate machine, PowerPoint on one machine. If there's multiple machines, PowerPoint on one machine, another one. But that second virtual desktop is a good idea as well.
Yeah, I do one virtual desktop on my demo machine for my demos, and then I do a second virtual desktop on my demo machine for my videos. And sometimes I'll even get fancy and have multiple virtual desktops for each of the videos, but I find that's too cumbersome.
Yeah.
But like you said, VLC is great because you can have very easy, lightweight start, stop, press the spacebar kind of thing. But then also the trick is to make it full screen is to, when the demo is finished, Control Q, and that kills that particular VLC and it goes away. So when you have to get your next one prepped, instead of having 8 VLCs, which one is the right one? You have now 7 or 6 or 5 as you progress to make it go.
Progress through. Yep, for sure.
All the insider tips. Didn't know you're going to get that, eh? Talking about patch and switch.
You know what? You never know what you're going to get when you do the patch and switch program.
Very
you
true.
Never know.
Very true.
So third segment of the program, we can do a little beer talk. Have you enjoyed any beverage?
Oh my.
crafty things.
So
I'm not drinking beer. I'm drinking an energy drink, but I'm loving
there
this
you
one.
go.
Yeah.
So I had a small brewery. So where the ICC, the convention center is, International Convention Center in Sydney, where it exists in Darling Harbour. You're very close to Chinatown area. And there's a place called Darling Square, which is a very short walk attached to the convention center you can go to. And in that square, there is almost like an indoor food hall of like 12 different vendors that you can buy food from and then go outside and eat or whatever it is. Very high end stuff and very, very eclectic stuff as well. The brewery had a stall in there, like a tap room that you could go
Oh,
out and get beer
nice.
from. And it was a local one that was only about a half hour outside of town. Of course, I forget the name of it. But the beer style that I had two beer styles. One of which I'd never heard of before. The one beer that I had for the first one was a beautiful toasted lager,
Mm.
and that was, you and I are fans of the malt.
Yep.
So it was a darker style, but it was not like dark brown. It was simply slightly darker toasted malt, but it was lagered, so it's extremely crisp and fresh. Wasn't a lot of aftertaste, nice malty taste to it. So that one there was really, really good. And then I had a table style ale. You ever had a table style ale before?
Yes, in Australia.
So, for those that don't know, it used to be that you would have, IPAs and you'd have full strength beer that you'd be drinking normally with like a 5 or 6% ABV. And then you would have, double IPAs or triples or tripels that would have even more. But then you would go down the scale as well. And one of them that they used to have in the UK was called session beers.
Hmm.
And session beers are so you can go after work before going home for dinner and you'd be able to pound back 6 or 7 of these things and not be liquored because the ABV was lower. A table is even lower than a session.
Yes, it is. Yep,
And I did not
absolutely.
know this. It was originally came from the perspective of the water was potentially so bad to drink back in the day that they would make table style ales because the alcohol, even though it's a low amount, could kill off whatever was in there and also still taste good, but not get liquored. So I had a couple of table style uh, beer when I was down here, which is quite interesting to try out.
Uh, there were. I could have directed you. I probably should have directed you to a couple of my favorite breweries because there was one. All you had to do is just cross the harbor to the other side,
Mm.
right?
Uh,
Which you can just walk across the bridge. Just
yeah.
off the bridge, go left down 2 restaurants there off of Darling Harbor in the Barangaroo side.
Hmm.
It's a restaurant pub, huge outdoor space,
Hmm.
amazing beers there. That's actually where I had my table style beer
Wow.
and enjoyed that. So
Thanks.
yeah, lots of
Thanks
options
for
there.
nothing. I appreciate it.
See, it
Appreciate it.
sounds like you found something just fine, and I doubt you would have made it over to that side because, well, busy, busy,
Yeah,
and probably everything
it was busy.
concentrated in one area over there, kind of by the conference center. So.
Yeah.
Eddie asks, did y'all get over to try the rice lager with jasmine tea in Chicago? No, we didn't. With the schedule in Chicago got
Mm.
out of hand very,
Yeah.
very, very quickly.
Well, DJ Eddie would know, like it was so out of hand, we couldn't even sit down and chat.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
walking past him all the time. He was busy. I was busy. It was crazy.
yeah. Callanan's asking, you tasted the table side beer, but but you didn't say you liked it.
Oh no, it's as I said, I didn't directly say I liked it, but it was very refreshing, and it was not bad. I'm not just going to say I'm going to be drinking that like crazy, but it served its purpose for sure.
Served its
Again, I'm
purpose.
it,
There you go.
it from a flavor perspective, it was just like a very light pilsner, very
Yeah.
clean, crisp pilsner. And the folks that I was hanging out with, they're joking around saying it's almost like it's American beer, so light, eh?
I'm
It's
I'm
like a
my beer talk
Michelob
is
Ultra.
look, I'm missing Chicago
Mm,
because being able to have Revolution Brewing anytime, like
yeah.
every
Well,
place that we
it
went
was
had
at
it.
the venue. It was
It
at
was
the
at the
venue.
venue,
It
it
was
was
a
at the
stop
party, it
venue
was at the
option.
hotel, it
Yeah.
was at the security event, they had it everywhere. I even had room beers because I went there's a Trader Joe's just right by where the hotel was.
Yeah.
It was $1.49 per beer. And so, you have to buy a minimum of 4 though. So I picked up some of those, and there was a fridge in the room, so I had room beers.
Mm.
They were all except for I did try that athletic non-alcoholic beer, which was I actually really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But they were all the various Revolution Brewing beers. And the Fifth City Pale Ale, which is one of my favorites of like all time. It's like it's a simple pale ale, but it's like right up there on top. Like if I know somebody's going that way and they're heading my direction, please bring beer.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
for
that
sure.
was, yeah, I've been missing that. Really haven't explored anything because the holidays have come and I've gone back on my evening Baileys in the rocks.
Mm. Oh yeah.
So most evenings we're in full mode. We're on day 12 of our annual, like every December we try to watch a movie together. The family tries to watch a movie together every evening. A holiday movie. So let's see. Last night it was Home Alone 2 last night. And usually when we sit down for those, I'll have my Baileys on the rocks.
Nice.
After we got back from the holiday party, we did that. So I stayed up a little bit late last night, but hence the energy drink.
Got it. Tech Untangler had to bail out, aka Bruce. Just want to say thanks for joining.
Oh,
us.
Bruce. Yes.
And I have an update. I have an update on my luggage. Apparently, it has landed in Brisbane.
Oh, hey, you're gonna have clothes.
I'm gonna have clothes.
Now, do you have to go pick it up, or are they gonna deliver it?
Oh no, they're gonna bring it out.
Yeah, you'll see it in 3 days then.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think they have to strap it to the back of a Corca and try to get it to come all the way up.
Yeah, apparently the kangaroo got a little aggressive last time, so they've had to stop using them.
He's in a timeout right now, so they're going with the Corca Express to be able to make it up. And the hilarious
service
thing
with
is,
a smile. Service with a smile.
As we're driving up here, because Sonia lives outside of obviously the airport area, there actually is a section of road that has a ginormous painted sign on the road that warns you, stop coming up or something like that, right? Across the entire road, ginormous sign that says, watch out for koala.
Oh, hey.
Apparently, native local koala are known to be in this little dip of the road that goes through because of the trees that are there. Yeah. And there's been a number of situations where potentially, unfortunately, poor koalas have gotten the bad end of the stick of a ute or something like that.
A ute.
Interesting. And J-Shock was asking if they're using capybaras for deliveries. It's like, no, the Corca, man, they're cuter.
Service with a smile.
They've coordinated. You get more tips if you're a Corca versus a capybara.
True.
I think
definitely
capybaras just look like a ginormous rat.
Definitely true. How about random spending?
I almost knocked over her.
Yeah, I noticed that something's gone awry there. Earlier, Giant Guinea Pig suggested taking a photo of the Sonia area and then using it as your background, a virtual background, so it'll confuse people, right?
Nice.
So just go with the camera.
I'll flip it around.
Yeah.
I'll flip it around and grab one.
Yeah, and then you'll send that around, and then all of us will have scuffy.
We can all do a meeting. We can all do a meeting with the Sonia backgrounds.
Yeah, with the Sonia background. Random spending. It's holiday season. Have you random spent?
I've been forbidden from random spending at this time of year. The financial controller is basically said no. So the random spend that I have done has been on things like HDMI connectors for the laptop. Yeah. I don't have it here. It's upstairs. I did random spend on one thing. I feel like I'm cheating on Microsoft Ignite, but I have a motorcycle trip planned for April. And in April, I need to have a backpack. And I'm not using, for obvious reasons, a
Microsoft branded backpack?
Microsoft branded backpack on a 9-day motorcycle trip. It just will not hold up to that level of field testing. And so I bought a new backpack that I can put in the chat if people are interested. I want to say it's called Ouzo, O-Z-Z-O, as the manufacturer. I'll find out the full one. But it is quite good, but it's not designed as a work laptop backpack, although there is a laptop section to it. The center part of the backpack is more open. And so I've also had to buy a number of tech pouches that I can put my different pieces of
organize
tech
everything.
Of. organize everything, almost like packing cubes for all your tech shit. So it's been phenomenal. It's survived quite well. It's very comfortable to wear. I'm field testing that now with my Australian trip. And so far,
So
so
did you
good.
buy it in the States and take it with you, or did you buy it there?
I know I bought it in the States.
Okay.
And then I brought it here for the field test. And so far, so good. It is quite nice.
You can
Quite
see
nice.
You can see the collection is starting to build as.
Oh yeah.
Of course, everybody else in the family has already wrapped everything, and I do that on Christmas Eve. I stay up till like 3 a.m.
Tradition, man. It's tradition.
Yeah, exactly. Can't mess with tradition.
Yeah,
I did random spend last night.
No.
So I've been reading. The last couple of weeks, I've just gone back into leveraging the library. I can download ebooks, and I found a new author, and it's typical espionage, contract killer, type. What do they call them? The political thriller type type books. And I was like, yeah, I should get some books and start finding a series that I'd like for the cruise that I'm going on in February. And then I started reading, and I haven't been able to stop. And I've been generally doing it with my phone, which is not the lightest, most accessible device. And then I was doing it with my full-sized iPad. Again, not really the ideal thing. So I thought, hey, let's research the Kindle. Yeah. And so I dug out my old Kindle. It's a Gen 4. They're on Gen 12 now. They're on Gen 12. Oh, turned on, holds a charge. But our friends at Amazon, 20% off plus a credit dependent upon the condition of your device. So I ordered a new one. It won't be here until just before Christmas because I think they're very, very popular because they've just come out with a new version. So I picked that up, and then it's the time of year where I've got to use there's a certain benefit that we have that I have to use up, and considering getting some new DJ kit. It's very expensive, but we might leverage.
And you would use that in your pursuit of exercises, right?
For mental health.
Okay.
It's just like a music instrument, right? Some people play music. I play music.
I used also my benefit as well, which was purchasing a camera lens to get a significant amount off of the camera lens.
Yep.
And it said I had to choose other, and then I had to explain what it was for. And so I said wildlife photography or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Wired Canucks has a new TV. No, we haven't done that yet. The old TV's still broken in the garage.
In pieces.
But that's all right.
In pieces.
It's all right. Yeah. So
new DJ kits.
Yeah, but I'm really excited about the new Kindle. So been a while since I used one because when I was traveling, it was like, how few devices can you carry? So I kind of put everything on one, and when I'm just sitting there and you've got the tray table or whatnot, but now I'm reading all over the place, right?
Yeah.
And the great thing is if I'm out and I get stuck, or I'm at a restaurant or something grabbing lunch or something, it's just me, because the wife doesn't do the pho thing, and I needed pho this week because it was bitterly cold, like below freezing here in Vegas, which it doesn't get to very often. And I'm like, I need pho, and I need it extra spicy. And so I went, and I was just sitting there. I'm like, oh, I can just read my book on the phone. And even when you have the actual Kindle, it will sync.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that. Jay Shock, did you get the color one? I just got the black one. But it is the signature edition, so that I can use wireless charging, because I've gone wireless charging for almost all my devices now with the because I'm in the Apple ecosystem, right? So you just the MagSafe chargers and stuff. So
yeah, so I've got the 11, the Paperwhite, which is quite nice, and I brought that with me, made sure it's charged up with all the different reading fare.
Yeah.
Another gadget that I had picked up recently on the device of someone else is one of those wireless transmitters for headphones.
So you can plug it into the
the headset on the back of the plane, and I can use my
as he covers the microphone so we can't hear him.
Yeah, so the beautiful Bose headphones, as opposed to the
Does
dodgy
Sony not
quality
have a regular
ones.
microphone?
What?
Does Sony not?
I don't. Do you think she lets me plug
No,
anything in?
no. I think the
No.
fact that you got a camera is probably good enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I'm using her laptop stand to be able to hang onto the laptop, and then she did allow me to use her camera,
Yeah.
and she turned on the light. She wouldn't let me turn on the light.
I don't. I
So
don't blame her. I don't
uh,
blame her.
the
It's
Airfly, yes, DJ Eddie mentioned it in the chat. The Airfly. So I picked
the
up one of those. Those
Airfly.
are awesome.
Hang on, I got to look that up. Are they on Amazon?
Yeah, they're on Amazon.
See, I gotta look at one of these things now. So here's my only concern: if a bunch of people have these on planes, do you get interference?
No, it's not that big of a transmission bubble for
Okay.
where you are, and I have yet to have any interference, but I've only just recently started to use it.
These are awesome.
Yeah.
Of course, now I'm looking at some of the higher end ones. Of course, that's what I do.
Yeah. So the ones that you can also have multiple pairings, and the best thing is you don't need to have any kind of a device to make the pairing work. You just put it into pairing mode, and then you
Yeah.
put your headphones in pairing mode, whatever kind of headphone you have, and it generally will negotiate and pair up correctly, and you're good. So,
Did you get the multi, like the where you could pair two devices?
yeah, I got the Pro version,
Okay.
and the charge lasts 26 hours, so it handled the Australian flight just fine.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that. Oh,
Put
they've
that
got a Pro
in
Deluxe.
a list. Yeah.
Oh, the Pro Deluxe has the 2-pronged adapter.
Yeah, I ran into a problem with that, not having the 2-prong at one flight that I did. So the older style planes still use those. Most have upgraded to only having the one standard TRS connection. That's it. But it still works.
Okay, I put that on the wish list. We'll see if Santa doesn't bring it, then I'll randomly
January
spend.
sale. January sale.
I'll randomly a Boxing Day present for myself.
Yeah.
Boxing Day. Hey, what do you think? Do you think we should choose some words? 3 word safe words. People in chat have been randomly using the exclamation word command. And then we can jump on over to twitch.tv, to patchandswitch.showbot.tv to check out the 3 work safe words that have been suggested for our title. Fun fact, this is the last show of this calendar year, as the next episode would be Christmas Eve, and then the episode after that would be New Year's Eve. We're not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Pierre pointing and laughing and such. But the words that we have for the next show, which would be the first show of the new year: Cruise Life, Security Scan, AI Orin, Year End, Bruce, Upside Down Rick, Koala Ute, and a new TV for Joey.
Nice.
I think we have to go Bruce, Koala Ute, Security Scan.
Yeah. I think the a new TV for Joey is kind of like the 12 Days of Christmas, the Partridge in a Pear Tree stanza.
And a new TV for Joey. You're not wrong there. All right, so you've got a couple of weeks left until Santa comes. You've got a couple weeks left until the new year. What's on the holiday to-do list for Mr. Claus?
So I have to finish putting up my Christmas lights. Unlike you, which have permanent, beautiful, automated.
Oh, I love my gemstones.
Beautiful ones.
We did not pull the
trigger. Yeah, we did not pull the trigger on those. And so before leaving, I did a ramshackle Clampets version or version of getting some level of Christmas lights up across the bottom portion. And I needed to make sure I had my 30-foot extension ladder ready to be able to do the peak of the house. And so I'll be leaning on my good friend Chuck, aka Double RJ45 Chuck, to have him hold the ladder and help me as I go and do the big peak across the front of the house when I get back, and around the side of the house too. So we'll see how that works coming up, and that's one of the projects I have to do.
Are you not going to go full
coming up.
Griswold? You need to go full Griswold, man. You need to be
I'm
lights
contemplating. So I have a laser light show that I'm going to put up on the side of the house because my house is situated next to a park that people walk through, and so I'm actually going to run an extension cord to one of the trees in the park and mount my laser light in that, and that will basically project a light field of greens and reds all across the entire side of the house that'll become visible.
It's going to draw a green hat on the side of the house.
Yeah, I haven't I haven't gotten authorization from the HOA. I'm just going to ask for forgiveness, and so that's kind of my Griswold-esque first foray into it at this point in time.
I want to see you just hit that switch, and then the entire rest of the neighborhood brown out. Is your
no? See, I've got solar. I would draw from my battery pack.
Well, and nowadays with LED, you could do a full-on Griswold house that doesn't pull anything, right? Because LEDs just don't pull.
I would love to have the rotating spotlights that go off and do things in the backyard.
Have you seen the guy? This guy, I don't know where he's located, but I see him on Instagram all the time. He's got all the professional lights now. He's doing it with fireworks now. He's got fireworks behind the house going off. So I think the guy does basically show design for theme parks, and so he does it at his house, right, as well. So yeah, it's pretty insane. Jay Shock saying you might make the power fail in Duval.
And then as far as tech projects are concerned, I'm going to actually be spending some time further building out and making usable my Home Assistant automation. I've let that kind of fall by the side. And now I've actually found some panels that I want to put in to be able to do light switch controls and stuff like that, like a smart panel and some other things because of just the incompatibility of 3 different switches and light bulb manufacturers for how you control them. Kelly and the family are getting ticked off with me to say, well, which app do I have to use to turn on the lights in the kitchen versus the under the counter lights versus the ones on the outside? I'm like, let me just get you a one-stop shop. Here you go.
You're just gonna put the switches. You're just gonna put the Wi-Fi stuff inside on the switches, the little relay.
Well, basically, with Home Assistant, it has connectors to all of those different ecosystems. You just
set all.
So it's like press a button, and that's all you have to do, right?
Yeah.
So, and I also bought what they call a Flick, F-L-I-C, smart button, which basically interoperates with the Home Assistant. So it's literally a physical button you can have on the wall. You press the button and it's going to go off and turn on the lights that normally would have to have 2 different apps and a password to turn on.
Nice. I have one of the projects that may or may not happen is a finally getting. So forget the holiday boxes. There's also a set of boxes here getting that sorted out.
You need a shelf over there, man. You need something.
We're going to probably replace the big shelf back here with something a little bit better.
Go for some IKEA custom ones.
Well,
design what you need.
I've actually asked Santa for some wall-mounted things that I could put some of my vinyl on.
Oh yeah,
to show off some of my records, and then do some work here, and then also the kids' closets. They're not big enough. They're very small closets for them, so they need some organization. So I may be taking off some closet doors and putting an organization there because unfortunately it's not deep enough to do the organization and still have the doors on, but we'll see. That's at least the intent. So projects as you say, upcoming. So we'll catch up and see, did Joey actually get off the couch during his break or stop playing Tarkov long enough to actually do some work?
Dude, I'm biding my time trying to get ready because I want to give Indiana Jones a try. I haven't had a chance to try that yet. There you go. I'll have to see. But dude, you are almost at time when you turn into a pumpkin.
We are at time. Audio.
Testing and productions next week, boys.
Yeah, exactly. Testing and productions next week. So with the band, that means we come to the end of another exciting episode of the Patch and Switch program. Thanks to our good friend DJ Eddie. Good to see you, my friend. Pete Calvert, great to see you. I know you're probably picking this up on the replay. We also have Callahan. Great to see you. Giant Guinea Pigs. Bruce. Who am I missing? Am I missing? Wire Canuck, Tech Untangler. Let's say Scuffy, who's I know is watching, but she can't talk in Twitch because she can't verify, and we have problems with spam, so we're on verified only mode. Unfortunately for the Twitters, we're back in the new year. So to all of my friends all around the world, a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. I'll see you when you get back because we have a meeting next week. Until then, have a weekend, everybody. Just smile and give me a Vegemite sandwich. I come from a land down under.